Okay, this is Rani Ahmed with you. This is lesson 9 in TCL TK programming language with MySQL as a database backend, and we're continuing with the explanation of our school registration or management system. And last time we were talking about how to edit a classroom. Okay, this time we will be talking about the application. We call it register subjects, which is the, or you should call it also register classrooms, which is the like the form used by the advisor of the university or the advisor of the school to add the student classrooms that the student selected to this to his file, okay, for this semester or this year. Okay, so let's start. This is our form, okay, and in this form I'm going to show you how it works. First, this is read only. Okay, the student ID here is read only, and I just press lookup student registration. I put a number, for example 2. Okay, so I get all the classrooms or all the sessions that this student has. Okay, and here I can put a number, which is the classroom ID or session ID. Okay, which is, for example, here if I say, for example, 5, I can press and get 5, and it will be added over here. But to us as programmers, this is, or even the users, doesn't matter. This form, this one is temporarily registered, which means it's just added to the list box over here, this white box area, the big one inside the form, biggest one inside the form. And if, for example, I'm adding one that's, for example, I added number 5. Okay, 5 is already added. Okay, so no need for repetition. And if I said, for example, this one, which is coming from the database, which is, for example, number 4, okay, was registered for this student. Okay, so please query another classroom also. And if, for example, you want to delete, okay, I press, you can select as many as you want. Okay, and press delete, and that's it. And but this time it's just deleted from the list box, and just it's a temporary change. Okay, now the finalize registration button is used to commit all the changes to the students registration, okay, those records. So that's all about our program. Now let's start with reading the code for you and how I did write it. Now I must first tell you that, of course, we're using MySQL. TCL is as our database a client to MySQL through TCL. Okay, and this is my SQL handler, connection handler. Okay, and I'm saying here MySQL use MySQL handler school, which means I am shifting to the database holding my tables, which is called school inside MySQL server. Okay, and then I'm saying over here that the like the process of deleting and adding classes, okay, is temporarily buffered or added, okay, and remembered inside two variables of type list. Okay, I start with empty list always, okay, and those are always like I'm following what's inside them, okay, always monitoring what's inside them. So they are always holding what's to be deleted and what's to be added until I press the finalize registration button. Next, now I'm saying here that I have a command that will delete the first finding of an item named $value, okay, from its variable, from the variable of type list. I called it, for example, my list. Okay, so example, if I want to say, if I want to delete, okay, from my list, I have to set my list as the remove from $my list, okay, the value that I've mentioned, okay, and I wanted to delete. So the way I've done it is that I'm saying search for exact, like for the exact value inside the list variable, and find its location, and then I'm using the replace, okay, using the same list variable, the inputted list variable, and then I say the mention, I mention also that the replacing, okay, starts and ends at the same point, okay, at the same location inside the list, same position, but I'm not mentioning anything to replace, so it will be replacing an empty value with that position, so this means it has been deleted. Okay, so it will return for me that the value of the list, okay, without the value that's to be deleted, okay, or I'll remove to delete it for me. Okay, now the rest of the procedures, okay, I'm going to talk about them later after I explain the widgets and tell you what are the widgets used. Okay, now first I have to say that my window, the root window here, the whole window, you know, the dot is not resizable, and I'm saying that it has a size of 645 pixels by 500 pixels. Okay, and I'm saying that the event, I'm making an event for the enter key. You know, I've got the one that's on the right and the one on the the heart of the keyboard. Okay, the one which is with the number pad, and the other one which is the main one inside the heart of the keyboard. Okay, so if any one of those keys is pressed, I will issue an enter button. Okay, and I'm saying here through the option add that the text inside the button, okay, and the text inside the label, okay, are by default to the left, are always to the left. Okay, next thing is I'm saying here that I have the label, which is the student ID label here, this one, so I'm starting with it, and next that the student entry, I start with it as read only. Okay, and I put the focus on it. Okay, next thing, put the focus on the entry. Next thing, I have a button which is the lookup registration. So I have a command that will do me the following when I press the lookup registration. Okay, so it says that I have to clear the make sure that the list box here named list of classroom lst, okay, this one, list box, I have to make sure that it is cleared. So I'm saying delete everything from the start until the end inside all the rows inside the list box. So look, when I press like here, it will clear everything for you, and then set the student ID as state normal and student ID entry deleted from 0 to the end, which means that the entry is cleared too, okay, and emptied. And then I have to make also the classroom ID cleared. If like I'm clearing everything because imagine that you were on a previous process that was already used, okay, or that already happened, I mean. Okay, so so next I'm saying that the classroom ID must be also read only, so you don't put any number over here. So what I'm saying is like if I put 2, now it opens the classroom ID. If I click it here, it will close it for me and I cannot edit it. Okay, so I can only edit the student ID. Okay, next thing, collapsing this. Now of course I said you start with the classroom ID label. This classroom ID, here it is, and I'm saying next that its entry, corresponding entry over here, is read only. Okay, so you know, when I just start the application for the first time, okay, it must make it as read only. It will open it after to be for edition, okay, for editing, I mean, when I press like and submit the student ID number. Okay, by the way, I have to remind you that the application has all the data validation, like whether it's a number or not, whether it's an empty value or not, something like this. Okay, so again, make it like this. Okay, and I have the okay, now I'm saying that the classroom ID entry has a binding with the key enter, the enter key. Okay, and this is just a repetition of something mentioned below. Okay, I know this one needs to be more neat, but I just here telling you what should be done only, and you can later fix everything for yourself because you're learning. Okay, now here I'm saying what should happen when you press the delete button when to the list box on the list box. Okay, so I'm calling this procedure delete from list of classroom LST, and of course I told you that you can delete many items in the list box or many classrooms in the list box anytime you want, because I've said that my select mode in the list box is multiple, and of course I must start in the start of the application as disabled. Okay, I must not be able to mess with it, okay, or play with it. Now this is my student ID entry. So when I press enter on the student ID entry, it will call the lookup student registration. When I press enter to the classroom ID entry, it will call the button, okay, lookup classroom ID, and the lookup classroom ID button, okay, it must call the procedure named lookup classroom ID, lookup and add classroom ID, okay. Now of course there's the last button, which is the finalized registration button, okay, and it will call the finalized registration. So take a look before we proceed, okay. So this is the classroom ID button, this is student ID button, and this is the finalized button, and this is where I put all my all the student file, okay, all his records and all his classrooms, okay. And it's, you know, it says timetable anyway. It's the student's timetable. Next, here when I just press enter and put the number for the student registration, okay, this is what I must do. First, I must call that call the MySQL handler, okay, the connection, because I must contact the database to get the student's records, okay, and call from outside the procedure the variables to be deleted and to be added, okay, both lists of classrooms, okay, and this is the to be added and this is the to be deleted. And why I called it, because I must later here clear them, okay, from any previous work, okay, because I don't want to add some subjects or delete some subjects from for a different student in that, like from a different, like for another student, okay. So if student number 1 comes and like adds, and he goes outside the advisor's room, this second student comes, okay, and the other student comes, and if I don't clear those, okay, it will still hold the values for the other student, okay. And of course I must clear previous work in the list box. So I must start with a fresh start. Now also I must set the student ID, okay, and hold it, you know, throughout this work, okay, this time of work, okay. So I'm getting it from the entry, and the reason that I made it read only the entry, okay, after he presses enter, is that I want to hold it all the time, okay, and always display to the user, so he doesn't change it, okay, he cannot change it also until he finishes with the student. And at the same time I'm always taking that value as if it's a global value from the entry, okay, and on different buttons and different things, okay, different events inside the program. So it's always kept and shown. Now home, so pressing home on my keyboard, so I say, like here I'm checking whether the length of the student ID is 0, So this means that this string inside the register subjects is empty, whether it's empty or not. Okay, so if I just say look up here, if I press enter, sorry, it will tell you it's not an ID number, it will return. Okay, now the string is a digit. Okay, so I'm saying whether it's a digit or not. So if it's 0, it's not a digit, it's a mix of numbers and letters, okay, and characters, and if it's 1, it means it's a digit. Okay, it's a digital number. Okay. Now next thing, I'm saying here, I'm checking also whether this ID is inside my the student ID already exists, which means that this student belongs to the uni, or if he's new, whether he has been accepted or not. Okay, and he has a record, they opened him a record inside the database. Okay, so I'm using this query from the database saying select everything from student, okay, where student ID is this student ID which we took from the entry. Okay, and I say that set results, okay, the resulting value as a list. Okay, while calling MySQL select and MySQL handler to connect, and the string that holds the query check student if exists. Okay, and here I'm saying if the length of the results as a list variable, as variable of type list. Okay, if that list is 0 in length, it means that there's no records, because you must have a record, at least something. Okay, that's the database is designed to give you something when you ask for an existing student ID. Okay, now next thing also, I'm saying to open the entry of the classroom ID and make it normal and allow editing in it. Okay, and changing whatever I'm inputting the classroom ID that you want to add the student file. Now, of course, move the focus from the student ID to the classroom ID, and also make the button look up and add a classroom ID, make it normal. Okay, it's I mean you allow using it, and list of classroom list, also this list here, the Listbox, is allowed to use and edit. Okay, so I return them into their normal state. Now I have to go to my other editor. It has nothing to do with our code. Okay, just another editor, but I'm using it because I saved the queries aside on the different file. Okay, so I'm gonna put my code on some other editor, and this editor, the gedit, I'm using it just to put the queries that I'm going to use and explain it for you away from our code, because it's a big query. Now what I'm doing is that inside the list box, you notice that here, for example, I press 2 for student ID, and you notice that every entry, okay, is, or every item in the list box is 1 semicolon, the room number, the subject name, teacher name, registration date, you know. So all that inside the list box, okay, is with respect to the results, okay, with the MySQL select. When I use flat list, as in here, okay, see, because I'm using concat will make every everything in one field. So what I want to say is this: like if you have like every record will look like this. If you look if you consider every equal letter here as a separate field, okay, inside my results, okay, this means that the this means if I use a dash list here inside my command over here instead of flat list, okay, with MySQL select, I will have to use a dual for loop, okay, a nested for loop. So it will consider that every item, every row here is a separate list, okay, and all this is one list. So it's a list holding many lists. Now the easier way is to consider with respect to the list box, okay, is to consider using concat. Concat will what it will make that all this line is one field, okay. It won't consider it as like 5 fields as like I did with every equal letter here, okay. So that's why it will be easier for you to append data, okay. And I will also use the semicolon as my like splitter, okay, when I grab the whole line from the list box, so I can grab from it the classroom ID, okay. We'll see that inside the application, okay, inside the code. Now, so that's why I'm saying that concat, okay, like join all these words, okay, and put and all those fields, okay, in one word, okay, and make in between every field a semicolon, and also add from the student classroom, okay, the registration date. Now the student classroom is this relationship. It's the table that holds the student ID versus the classroom IDs that he owns, okay, or he attends. So for example, student ID number 1, okay, has classrooms number 2 and number 98 and number 78, okay, or 89 and 78. Sorry. Now also I have, for example, student number 3 has classroom number 2 and has classroom number 745 and classroom 9, okay. And again, number 5 has number 2 and number 5 has also classroom 6, and that's all, okay. Now from the viewpoint of the classroom, okay, you will say that classroom ID number 2 has the following students. It has a student ID number 1, so student number 1, and student number 3, and student number 5. Okay, so that's why inside such a table I'm saving the registration date also when I save every record similar to this. Okay, so it's the time when I added this classroom, or the date that classroom has been added. Now, next thing is I'm saying that my selection must be from the classroom, because I'm taking all the classroom details and the student classroom relationship and the subject and the subjects table. Okay, because I want to take from the subjects table the name of the subject that's recorded for this classroom. Okay, and same thing for the teacher. So just looking where is my other example. Anyway, so you know that from previous lessons that I have class ID, okay, has the subject ID, has the details, other details, okay, other details in different fields, and then I have the subject ID and also the teacher ID. Okay, the subject ID, okay, is an ID that's saved inside the classroom table, which is already the same number inside the subject table. Okay, and similarly the teacher ID, same ID taken from the teachers table. Okay, of course there are many teacher IDs and many subject IDs. Okay, so through those numbers I can go to their corresponding tables, its subject ID and teacher subject table and teacher table, to find the names of the subject and the teacher respectively. Okay, so that's what we call a join. So when we say like student classroom, okay, the relationship between student classroom, I use the classroom, I have to find the classroom ID that's the same inside the classroom ID that's inside the relationship is the same classroom ID inside the table classroom ID. Okay, and the teacher ID is the same that's inside the classroom table. Okay, and the classroom subject ID is the same inside the subject ID. Okay, and the student and from the student relationship, okay, I'm taking all those classrooms which we told you about, using this one and only one student ID, okay, that I input through the entry. Okay, so I know it's a very complicated query. This is what we call a join in SQL. Okay, now if there is no result in my list, So the result here is a flat list. So if the length of this list is 0, okay, this means that there is nothing inside my result. Okay, and I say that if there is a result, okay, if there is a result, just put every item inside the result, which is a row inside with respect to our, to the database. Okay, results. Okay, so every row is added at the end of the list box. Okay, now if there is nothing, if there is no results, just set the student ID as read only. Okay, so this is an example. If I just put like here and I say like 695 blah, okay, just so this doesn't exist, and oh yeah, I said like number 12. Let's see if I've done wrong. Maybe 9. Okay, so of course I must also, even if there is nothing, I must make it read only. Okay, and make sure it's read only. Because if I return from my application, from this event, okay, it will not make it as read only. Okay, I don't want it to go further inside the code, okay, and deeper. Now, so everything is okay. Just put everything inside the database. So inside the list box. So I say like number 2, and here you get everything. Now, of course, again, you have to make it all also read only. Okay. The student ID, and just go and just that's it. Okay, for this procedure. Now the rest here is just for me inside the shell, inside the terminal, inside the command line. Okay, at the std out. Okay, I mean like similar to here. Okay, I wanted to show me what's going on for debugging reasons. Okay, so I'm just monitoring, okay, the list of classrooms to be deleted and the list of classrooms to be added, because I want to make sure that, or I wanted to make sure as I'm programming code, that this those lists are empty. Okay, now next I'm going to collapse the view of all the code, and now when I press enter for the lookup add classroom ID, this is what happens. So of course I must call the connection handler and the list of classrooms to be added and the list of classrooms to be deleted. Okay, by the way, those lists will hold only the classroom IDs. Okay, nothing more. That's all I need. Okay, I have to monitor what classroom IDs are added and what classroom IDs are deleted. Okay, or to be deleted or to be added. Okay, that's what I mean. So of course I take this student ID. Well, I'm checking again if everything is okay, but by the way, now it's closed as read only, so it's already okay. Okay, so I know this is a repetition, but when I started writing the application, I started it without the read only and you know, the closing thing. So they're okay to have them here, because you might, if you did some kind of editing, it will force you to the right thing. Okay. Now you take the classroom ID, of course, from the entry. Okay, from here. So that's this line, and of course you clear it after you take it, and then here all I'm saying that check the length of the ID is whether it's empty. Okay, so it means that the length is 0. And here check whether the classroom ID is really an ID, okay, is a number. If I pass the first check, I return from the procedure and I complain. If I don't pass the first check for the length, I just return from this procedure. If I passed it and I did not pass the is digit, okay, I will also return with the complaining, and if I pass this is digit, it will just go further and accept it as a valid classroom ID. Now here I wanted to check if this classroom that the student has selected is, you know, is already added. You don't need to add another one, because it will register for you, and also the database itself, because it's designed this way, it will complain that this couple of student and classroom ID, as I explained in this. Okay, as I explained over here, okay, is not repeated. So you're not allowed to have something like class Ctrl C and Ctrl V, okay, pasting. So this is not allowed. Okay, those two lines are not allowed. You have to have just only one line of the same thing, okay, of the same like student ID and student classroom at the same time. Okay. Now my query is the following. I'm saying select from the table of student versus classroom the ID. Okay, now my table has, for every student ID relationship, has an ID. Okay, and why do I put a different ID for the record? Because it's easier for me to delete that record. If I want to delete it, I don't have to go to a very long like a very big query, okay, so to tell which classrooms to be deleted. And also it will just tell you using one and only one value. You don't have to grab the whole values, okay, just one and only one value, that this classroom exists, okay, or this record exists, okay, just the one ID, okay. So that's why. And it's good that I'm going to use a flat list, because it's just one and only one ID, okay, just one number that will be given, okay. So the way I'm selecting that field, because like the table is like, this is the ID, and I'm saying here like this is 1, let's say here, okay, let's put one over here like this, then here 2, sorry, 4, this is 3, this is 4, 5. So this is just the row number, okay? 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm selecting this ID, which is the record number, okay? The line number inside the table, okay? So all I want is this classroom ID, okay? That is this classroom ID I want, okay, belonging to this student, okay? So there will be only one classroom ID with one student, okay? It's very unique, okay? A classroom versus student ID couple is a unique value, okay? So I'm saying it must be selected from the relationship between classroom versus student, and also from I'm selecting that I have to select also that it belongs to the classroom, this classroom ID, the classroom table, and also from the students table. So that's why I'm searching both, okay? So I'm saying that the classroom ID that's inside the as a condition, you know. So I'm saying that the classroom versus student, okay, table, I'm taking from it that a classroom ID and matching it with the classroom ID that's inside the classrooms, okay, and also that this student ID is also belongs to the student ID, okay. So say that I mean that this student belongs to the students, okay, and I'm saying that the classroom student ID is this student ID, and same thing is that this classroom, okay, ID that's inside the relationship is this classroom ID, okay. Now, so it's just one result, okay. I think I've made this query wrong. I don't know, because the way I'm making the check is wrong. I'm not sure, okay. But it's okay to have it like this. It's working, okay. Maybe I'm doing it the other way around. That's why, okay. Maybe I should select, for example, the student that's belonging to the students table, and then I say that the I also take that classroom belonging to the classrooms table, and also say at the same time that the student ID. So I'm selecting not and that I should be selecting this and this from the from their original tables, the student table and the classroom table, not the student underscore classroom table, okay. Now next, okay, so it tells you that this classroom has been registered. That's all what this query means. Now the next thing is now I have to make sure whether this classroom is inside the classrooms to be added, because you've input a classroom ID because you want to add this classroom, but it's already there. What I mean is this, is that, like, for example, if I want to add number 4, it says to you that this classroom has been added, okay, or is already registered. Okay, if I say number 5 and just add number 5 again, this is already added, so no need for repetition. So this is the code, okay, used to find it. Okay, and of course both lists inside the list to be added and the list to be deleted hold unique values. Okay, so that's why the search for the exact value, a list search, okay, searching inside a variable of type list. Okay, we're using an exact search to sort for the exact value. Okay, and if you got anything greater than -1, because having 1 means something, having 0 means something else, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, the else search, if you said like if you find something, it will give you a number that's a positive number, and that positive number refers to the index or the position of that found item in the list. So if nothing happens, because number 0 means the first one in the list, by the way, don't forget that. So that's why they use the number -1. So if they found it, if it is -1, it means it did not find anything. Okay, but if it's 0 or more, it means that there's an index having that value of classroom ID. Okay, so I'm searching inside the list of classrooms to be added for the classroom ID, and this way I'm checking for its existence. Okay, so I don't repeat. Okay, because it will be added as twice inside the database. Okay, on the basis, for example, you forgot as an admin to add the design and the settings for your database, that repetitions must be disallowed. Okay, now I'm making the query to get me the details of that classroom and its subject's name and teacher name. Okay, so it's very much the same as usual, and what I'm adding to that concat is the temporary registered word. Okay, so concat is very awesome. Okay, really awesome. Okay, so I'm taking the classroom details similar to this. Okay, so all the details from the classroom table and through the ID of the teacher and the ID of the subject that are saved inside the classroom table, I'm finding from their corresponding tables their names and appending to every row the word temporary registered. Okay. Now, if of course I'm making my list because of making things as a concat. Okay, I'm making my list as which is the results list, as a flat list. Okay, and I'm checking whether, as usual, whether there is a result by saying whether this list has a length greater than 0. Okay, if it's equals to 0, this means that this list is empty and there is nothing found. Okay, and this means that this classroom does not exist. You're trying to find a subject or classroom that does not exist. Okay, or even has not been scheduled yet. And we finish with inserting everything to the list box. Now you said that this classroom is added. Okay, and it's temporarily added. Okay, therefore that classroom ID that you've just added okay, must be added also and inserted to the end of the list of classrooms to be added list variable, okay, or variable of type list. And also you must remove it from those which are to be deleted, okay, if it exists. Okay, so for example, you yes, for example, you added one that's already was deleted, so you must make sure it was removed from the deleted lists. Okay, you don't keep it like this, because later when we want to delete, okay, and add, I must pass both lists and walk through them. Okay, so you said first add this, and then next you said delete this. Okay, so you added the same thing for one time and telling later that the database must delete the same thing that you just added. So this means you've done nothing. So that's why you say this added thing must be not existing inside the list of classrooms to be deleted. Okay, and again here I'm just making sure through debugging, okay, what's going on, okay, with my lists to be added and lists to be deleted. Okay, I will show you this as I walk through the code. Okay, now maybe, yes, so look at this. This is the application again. I'll run it in my terminal, so you see that this is my std out. So I say, for example, this is number 2. I press enter. So first I'm starting with nothing. Okay, this to be deleted. I'll make a view. Okay, so I start with an empty list of to be deleted and to be added. Now next time I just press, for example, I want to say like 7. Okay, say it does not exist. Okay, let's say number 5. Yeah, we have number 5. Say, for example, number 5. Now the to be deleted here, it doesn't mention anything. Okay, the to be added, it mentions you number 5. Okay, now if I say, for example, number 4 and press delete, okay, next time it will tell you that after deleting number 4 is added to be deleted and number 5 will be added. Okay, now next time I say that this is 4. Okay, yes, it has been registered, but you have to understand that it was not finalized. Okay, so so here if I say this is 5, okay, and I press delete, and now it shows you that it was moved from the added to the deleted. Okay, if I press 5 again, see, it's moved from the 5th to the from the deleted side to the added side. So this is what's going on. Okay, okay, now back to our code. Again, our code is done till here, so collapse. Now moving to the next thing, which is the delete from the list of classrooms. Now of course the delete works when I press delete. Now I'm saying the list of classrooms to be deleted and the list of classrooms to be added. I must call them, okay, from outside the procedure, because this procedure wants them. And then I go to the list box and I get all the current positions of the selections. Like when I press over here, it will give you here number 4, okay, and if I press number here, it will give you number 1. Okay, so it will give you a list of those indices, list of those positions. Okay, we're not talking here about the classroom IDs, we're talking about the position the order of the position inside the list box. Okay, so the position here is number 5. This is item number 5. Sorry, number 4. This is item number 4 again, and this is item number 1. Yeah, this is number 3. Okay, if for example the next one after the classroom ID number 5, which is here. Okay, if you got something after the number 5 here, okay, it's the position number 5. Okay, so just to make it clear, this is, we're not talking about the current selection is not the classroom ID. That's it. Okay, the numbers coming from the current selection are not the classroom IDs. So it will give me a list of all positions. Okay, so selected item indices and the list of classrooms list box. Okay, so now there's something very important. When you press delete, okay, the list the selected items item indices, you must reverse it. Okay, like you must call it as, or you must reverse it as like as such, like let's say here, let's say okay, you must say that after deleting, when it start with, it was 1, then 3, then 9, then 8. Okay, those are the items that you selected. Okay, now next thing is you have to reverse it, because and you say 8, then 9, then 3, then 1. Okay, why? Because you want to delete from the last time selected, because you don't want to change the order of your deleting. Okay, from the list box, because if you deleted like without reversing, if you deleted this number 1, okay, the index at index number 1, it means that you have a new list having only the 3 and 9 and 8. This means that 3 and 9 and 8 must be shifted to a new positions, okay, having a new indices. Okay, this means you have messed up everything. Okay, this is not what you've selected to be deleted. Okay, so that's why you reverse it. You reverse it. Okay, so that's why I'm using the reverse to reverse the list of indices, list of positions. Okay, and I move and I pass that list and walk through it. Okay, so I get that at that index, for example, I selected this last one. Okay, because I must start with it when I reverse my selections. Okay, so starting from the last one in my selection, okay, I get the get that row or that item in the list box. Okay, at that selection, at that index, which is the last index I started with. Okay, and I get the data inside this variable named selected item. Okay. Now, okay, there's a better way of explaining this. I'll close the application here, and I will show you through saving this. I'll show you what's going on, because I think you did not understand it. So I will run it. This is two. Okay, now look at this. This is first, I'm saying this one, and I say this one. So when I press delete, so I start with index number 3, which is the last one here, because I start from number 0. Okay, now I go and I tell you what I selected. Okay, now I go again. This is number 0. I go to number 0. Okay, and this is number 1, and I delete it. Okay, now if I did it the other way around, starting from 0 till number 3, this means the number 2 here currently, okay, the class ID number 2, okay, will have the index number 1, number 0, sorry. So I mean the first index. So this means that it has changed. Okay, my selection. Okay, so that's why I must use the reverse. Okay, and when it tries to find that that index, it does not exist, so it won't delete anything. Okay, it won't go even to the database. Okay, so look up and call number 2 again. Okay, now so as usual we take the data inside the selected item. Okay, okay, those are just debugging reasons. Okay, and then, by the way, I must close this instance and run a new one without the so this is number 2. Okay, so after I get what's inside the selected row, okay, I split the row, okay, using the semicolon, and of course the very first item in that split, okay, is the class ID, and I take this class ID and go to the classrooms to be deleted list, okay, and I add it to it, okay, and go to the ones to be added and remove it from the added ones. Okay, and then delete at that index from the list box. Okay, so of course it must show me what has happened when I delete with the list box, with the to be deleted list and the to be added list. Now this is all about how to delete. Sorry for this long video, but it's a must. We can't run away from that. Okay, yes, it's over here. So this is my procedure for analyze the registration. Okay, so first of all, of course, you must check for all the data. Okay, like here I must make sure that the student ID is not empty. Okay, and even if it's a number, okay, and check everything whether the student does exist. Okay, now before I do anything, I must make sure that the list to be added and the list to be deleted, okay, are both, okay, I'm saying if both are empty, okay, it means you should not proceed and call the database and contact database. So that's why I make this checkpoint. Okay, now here I'm making variables, one that will always call like after calling the like after passing the list of classrooms to be added and the list of classrooms to be deleted, every classroom ID in both lists, okay, will go to the database and find and get its information. So I will be adding to the message to be added and the message to be deleted, those variables, those two variables, just what are like the complete information details of those classrooms that to be deleted and to be added, so the user will know what are the classrooms that will be added on, what are the classrooms to be deleted, and the text message box with a yes or no question. Okay, so at this time, if I press like this, it will tell you nothing has changed or done to commit this procedure, because both lists are to be added, so or deleted. There's nothing to be added or deleted. So if I press, for example, like 5, okay, if I say, for example, finalize, okay, oh yeah, there's a bug here, sorry, let's just Yeah, that's a good way to learn debugging now. Doesn't matter. Anyway, just leave it till later. Okay. So, as I told you, now I make the I get the date of today because I want to make an insert for the registration date. Okay, in this way you get the date for today. Okay, and then I'm saying if the list of classrooms to be deleted, okay, is not empty and it's greater than 0. What I say is get every classroom ID that's inside this list, okay, and get the classroom details for every classroom that you get. Okay, select classroom ID, this one, this query. Okay, and then I'm executing it, and set join the usual way, that query, and I'm adding every value and everything inside this to be added message. Okay, so, and also I'm building the tuples to be used inside the query. Insert into student classroom values, those values, okay, which are, of course, not those exact values, but I'm saying that you have this classroom student ID, classroom ID, and the date in every two parentheses. Okay, and every time I'm adding them, and there is always you start with a comma because you want to add so many commas, and then the add classrooms you must trim from it this comma which is at the start, because you will be left with it, because it's not acceptable inside SQL to say values comma. Okay, now of course you've got the string that holds all the tuples, and I just add it over here. Okay, now if the list to be deleted is greater than 0, then of course also I make the condition for which I build the condition for which student versus classroom IDs that will be deleted. Okay, for this student, you don't select like all the classroom IDs and whatever their student ID. No, you want it for this special student ID. So I'm making that for each loop over this classrooms to be deleted. Okay, and I'm getting their information. Okay, the details. Of course, I'm making that to be deleted a message. Okay, and then this is how I'm saying that the deleted classrooms, okay, will be like, I'll show you first what will be the delete query. It will be delete from student classroom, where student classroom dot student classroom ID, I mean that student, okay, ID, okay, and the delete classrooms and classroom ID, or this classroom ID, or this classroom ID. So therefore you will get student student ID and classroom ID, or another student ID and classroom ID, or another student ID and classroom ID, and so on. Okay, but I have to remove the first or, because it doesn't work to start with an and then say a parentheses over here, okay, and then you say or afterwards, because you will start with an or. Okay, now I'm saying that, let's see, okay, now I press here finalize the registration. Okay, so this is how my oh no, okay, so later this is how it will be, okay, and this is how it's gonna be deleted. So I say if this is final and say yes. Okay, I got the reason this line is useless. So it's the query name is wrong. So I'm just trying again for you just to see what's going on. So again, let's look up number 2, and we must have number 2 having the selected number 4 deleted. Okay, now let's rerun it again so you can see how I'm building the delete query. So say like here, this is number 2, and I'm saying add number 5 and add number 9. Okay, and then I will add all this. Okay, and I press delete on them, and then I say finalize registration. So this is how it will look like first, and then I say after trimming it will remove the or, because this is what I really want inside my query. So it will look like delete from student classroom, where student classroom ID is this ID, and then I say and this like delete where this class or the student ID, and whether the classroom ID is this number 3 or number 5 or number 9. Okay, so delete all those, and that's all, and it will tell you that those will be deleted. I'm going to say no. Okay, but of course those which are deleted from the list box must be deleted. Okay, you have to do it again. Okay, so that's all about our application. Okay, and thanks for your watching, thanks for your patience. Okay, this is the last like my last video, okay, in this topic. Okay, I think so, I'm not sure, but thanks for watching again, and please subscribe and comments. Thanks.